like you said.
Where did the word Judea come from?
Judea from, I think, Jew.
Yeah, so what, but where did you start hearing that Palestine was called Judea?
I saw that in history books. When we studied at Berkeley,
who?
who was it?
Jewish people, yeah?
Potentially.
You're saying it's Jewish propaganda.
Oh.
Yeah. Those Jews are always scheming.
Is that the Jewish propaganda?
We're here in London, undercover at a Palestinian protest.
And we're trying to find out how to bring this to America. Excuse me, guys. We're from America, right? We're filming a documentary.
Yeah.
Why are you guys supporting today? How do we get this to America?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's just that Palestine,
Yeah.
and it kind of represents everything that's going on in the world.
Okay. Like what?
So, like, they're taking
What's going on in your country at the moment?
Yeah.
In America.
People saying fuck ISIS.
I see
So,
that.
you know,
I see that.
So we've got the top leaders of the world basically controlling everything.
Right.
And
You're saying, how do you bring it to America?
Yeah. How do we bring this type of protest to America, to the streets of New York, the streets of LA?
I'm sure you're protesting, we're just not showing.
Yeah, but this is incredible.
Yeah, we go to Berkeley. You guys know Berkeley?
Berkeley, yeah.
Yeah, so we go to Berkeley, and there are protests there, but at this point, maybe we got 50, 100 students. We came here today on such short notice. It's like 10,000 thousands of people.
Right, okay, so they're on Instagram, there is actually the Palestine Solidarity Campaign group.
Yeah, the PSC.
And they're the ones that have started.
They're like the main organisation.
Yeah, they've decided, right, we're going to organise this.
Why where are you guys from?
We're from Portsmouth, right down south.
Gotcha. Why did you guys decide to get involved here?
Because we can't watch what's happening and do that. Yeah, I can't sit aside and watch.
Yeah.
And if we all sit back, we're going to have the same situation, like, sorry to say it, but like what happened with Hitler. So if you don't start now before things get that big, then it's too late.
Right.
Yeah, and so we're
Like-
all
like-
so
Overwhelmed, we're too controlled.
Like,
so at
right.
this point, we need to make.
So
Maybe-
what Hitler did, I mean, a few days ago was Holocaust Remembrance Day, right? You remembered what happened.
Yeah.
So Hitler invaded one country and no one said anything.
Right.
But then thought, okay, he didn't say anything about that.
So then he went to the next
Another
country.
Is this a Palestine reference or a Donald Trump reference?
So exactly.
No,
Yeah.
it's all one.
It would be right.
Donald Trump is involved with what's happening in Palestine.
Okay.
He funded Israel. He applauded Israel for what they did to the Palestinian people. He's the head of this board of peace and is inviting all his rich friends to be a part of this board of peace. It's not a board of peace, it's a board of how much profit can we make off this land? And that's what it was all about in the first place. So this is about Palestinian people. They are the ones that are the victims right now of all of this, mainly because it's them that are being genocided to make way for the rich people like Trump, like Israel, and all their billionaires that they work for. And generally that's why we're here, because it's bigger than
But
just
the Palestinian people have become
the
representation of oppression. So when we
Right.
start chanting, we're Palestinians,
Right. So
we're actually
So I've
saying
got-
it could
I
happen
think
to us.
Right.
if Americans don't stand up now, it'll be on their doorstep.
right.
I mean, like
I get that. But like, so Israel's the Jewish state, right?
No, Israel is a Zionist state.
Okay.
Zionism is an ideology, it's
Right.
not Judaism.
I get that.
They use the Jewish cause of the persecution of the Jews in Europe for their excuse
Okay.
to occupy that bit of land
Okay.
in the Middle East, because that bit of land was of good use to them
Right.
in their control of everything.
Got it.
I think
Okay.
I think Americans need to look outside of the news that's in their country, because I feel like Americans are very focused on like Fox News and all that stuff. Watch out, him.
It's fine. I got my own.
They need to look more international. I feel like Americans stay very much.
Very in America. Yeah.
If
I
they,
get that.
Very
they
big
want
country.
to bring
Yeah.
it to them, they need to look outside of.
Right.
They're very
Right.
in.
And we feel really responsible. But first,
Yeah.
how did Israel come about? The British had Palestine mandated, and they gave it
Right.
over to created Israel.
Yeah.
So they and at the cost of the Palestinians, they oppressed the Palestinians, they kicked them out of their houses, they murdered them, they did all sorts of.
Can I ask you guys a question? When did you guys like start supporting this movement and come out to the streets for this?
When the genocide started happening in
When was that?
Oh God!
when the Hamas 2024
When they invaded.
started thinking
Yeah.
none of this makes sense, what actually is going on here.
And you heard
So
about
we started reading more,
Right.
research.
What's your most trusted source?
Double Down News.
Double Down News is great.
Yeah. I double down on that one. Al
Al
Jazeera,
Jazeera,
that's one of
Al
my
Jazeera.
favorite ones.
London
so
Economic.
after October 7th, 2023, that's when we were like, we need a protest for the Palestinian people.
That's
going on for
that's what
That was your
that's
trigger.
what set. That was the catalyst.
Right.
Okay.
So we all knew about Israel, and we've all heard the news, but
Right.
we've not really.
But then once Hamas finally stood up, finally massacred the people,
Yeah.
finally went in there, you know, killed, you know, we're not.
agree with
that-
with terrorism. But when you talk about when you look at South Africa, the apartheid, when you push people so far,
Right.
but they've got no other choice and resistance becomes violent, I don't.
Right, but South Africa did have Nelson Mandela, who was peaceful.
And no,
I mean-
he was labeled a terrorist.
No, right, but he led a peaceful movement, I'm just saying. He sat it. No, Nelson Mandela sat in jail for many, many years until there was freedom.
An army.
Right.
The ANC had an army, militia.
They did have a militia.
So you start looking and you start
Okay.
reading, and then like Gaddafi, for example, is
Yeah.
supposed to have been this terrible person, but actually when you look deeper into the politics and what was going on over there and who was involved, you start thinking, who behind it? Actually, was he that bad? So
Yeah.
It just gets bigger and bigger, and
Yeah.
there's-
And then you start expanding your knowledge, and yeah, I
I
got
feel
that.
like this is a place in the world up to see how bad the corruption is. And they're so corruption, they don't even care that we see the corruption. They lie to our faces. It's like
Yeah.
we can see it and you're still lying to our faces.
Yeah.
No, we can see it in broad daylight what's happening thanks to social media.
Yeah.
But if we just relied on the BBC and mainstream news, we would believe the lies. That's why so many people thought the UK was this amazing country that went and liberated people in the rest of the world, not actually knowing, and colonising people, not actually knowing what atrocities they were carrying out in order
Yeah.
to create the
I always say thank God for the footage that's come out since October 7th and on October 7th, right? Like thank God they filmed it, right? And they film it in GoPros. Thank God it's there, or we wouldn't even know that this terrorism is even
Exactly.
happening.
It's the images
Exactly.
that made me think I cannot sit here and see this happening to people and not do anything.
When I saw them stand up and go into Israel, right? Go in and take those young women back into Gaza as a stance of resistance. I knew that's when I was like, I need to get involved and do
Yeah,
something.
me
If they're
too.
so desperate that they would take a girl back into Gaza
Yeah.
and parade that on the streets,
Yeah.
they need help.
Yeah.
They need help, and that's
They're
why we need to
suffering.
stand with them.
Yeah.
But I was just going to say, even as Brits, when you start researching, looking at our history and colonising that we did, you know, it actually makes me feel quite ashamed about
Right.
history and responsible for
Yeah.
a lot of what's.
Yeah, I mean, and everyone's colonized, no? Like, the Arabs colonized the Middle East, for example.
Right.
Everyone's colonized. I mean, but like, that's fine that they did it. Like, whatever.
Yes, if you look at, I was just going to say about hostages.
Yeah.
Look at the difference between the Israeli hostages that were released. They're
Right.
healthy, well-fed.
Right.
You know who looked really healthy? The Bebos boys.
Yeah.
You guys know the Bebos boys? The two kids, when they were returned in caskets, and then they went and started
They did a
looking
funeral for them.
at their dead bodies. Yeah, they held a whole ceremony, and then they examined the dead kids' bodies, and they're like, oh, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
And then
Yeah.
the Palestinians.
And then you look at the Palestinians in buses transported back into
Yeah.
Gaza,
Yeah.
like absolute savages.
And then bodies are returned still blindfolded, still like
Alive.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Did you see that one hostage? What was his name? Eli? No.
Aviatar.
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 He was. They made him dig some tunnel or something, and he
Yeah.
was very skinny, but like alive and fine in Gaza. You know.
Yeah.
They were filming him like they had access to cameras in the tunnels. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
And the filming of what they were doing and just like being happy about it, like showing them bombing the houses and under like for the IDF soldiers.
Yeah.
It's just sickening, really.
it is sickening. It is sickening. And I'm just so glad for the footage of October 7th so we can all look at resistance and what it truly is and replicate that and hopefully we
And
bring
globalize
that.
that.
Globalize that. We globalize the Intifada and hopefully bring that to the UK.
And they lied about babies being burnt in ovens, babies being killed,
Yeah.
and they said it even like
Well, there was 2 babies killed.
yeah, there were 2 babies.
in
Right.
Gaza. Yeah.
Yeah, but
like-
some people were saying
but
those were dolls.
I saw that report. I think
You heard
that
about
was Al Jazeera.
Yeah, literally they put dolls in caskets
Yeah.
made up. Yeah.
Victims that have come forward and said I was raped.
Right. Besides all the Israeli women that came forward and said that I was sexually harassed, there's nobody, and it's like, why are we
Yeah.
gonna believe some Zionists?
Yeah, I
It's-
just think show me the evidence and I'll believe it. But when there's no evidence,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, they say me too on this.
What prompted you guys to come and ask
Wait,
what was your...
so we're American.
you wanted to-
No, we're American in the UK. We're students, like you said, in Berkeley.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And
You're wondering how this started up and how you...
exactly how we can
initiate-
replicate
We're
it
so
there.
inspired by what we've seen here today. I was literally crying earlier. He
was, he teared up.
I'm a big crier.
It's
I'm
basically
emotionally down.
started, from
From October 7th, after October 7th.
October 7th.
Yeah.
And then, people who know far more about history than we did at the time.
Yeah.
And have started
They
up
inspired
this
you.
group and said, look, let's start marching. We can't let this go on. And it's just gotten bigger and bigger. And social media has helped a lot of that.
Of course, of course.
There was a call to start marching.
Yeah, we have friends and family in the Muslim and Arab community, so
Yeah.
it's just like it hits home.
Oh, so you guys are like directly
You guys are
correlated.
connected to it.
and when you see
Wow.
what Israel was doing in Gaza, it's just disproportionate. It was
Yeah.
disproportionate.
Completely
the retaliation
disproportionate.
was not justifiable.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Like, yeah.
For like what? They killed 1,000 people. Okay, look what's going on in Gaza now. Right? They killed 1,200 people.
The thing is, you say they killed 1,000 people, but how many people had Israel killed before they
Right.
they had to retaliate?
Yeah.
How many?
Or I don't know the exact number. It's been going on since
We gotta find out.
since
I already said number. I hear all this stuff, but it's not
When was the date? 1930s?
Since the
Right? That before it was named Palestine, it was like Judea,
No.
Judah, something like
Palestine's
that.
been mentioned in texts from ancient Rome, ancient Greece, and ancient
Right,
Egypt.
right. I saw that.
BC. It's
Oh.
You know, if
around
you look at our
thousands of
great
years.
grandparents, like World War I records, you'll say
Yeah.
they served in Palestine.
Right.
Yeah.
The British
The
mandate of
British mandate
the
of
British mandate of Palestine.
The British mandate of Palestine.
Where did you
Yeah.
get this word Palestine?
Well, I think it comes from the
Well-
word. It comes from the word Plishtim.
Plishtim. Yeah.
which means invaders.
Right.
I think that's where the word Palestine comes from. I think the Romans named it Palestine.
And you, like you said,
Where did the
whole
word
world-
Judea come from?
Judea from I think Jew.
Yeah. So what? But where did you start hearing that Palestine was called Judea? You
I saw that in history books. When we studied at Berkeley,
written by who?
who was it?
Jewish people, yeah.
Potentially.
You're saying it's Jewish propaganda.
Oh.
Yeah. Those Jews are always scheming.
Is that the Jewish propaganda?
I want to say Jew.
Okay, all right.
Can I just say, you say
We're gonna use a sanified one.
Way to catch yourself there. You gotta be
so
careful.
the Jewish people or the Zionists, or
Sorry.
I say Jew.
That's
Right. Guys. Let's
wait. It's an open space here, though.
Promised to them
Yeah.
from 3,000 years ago, or
Right.
or they were the occupiers and we were kicked off the land. Okay, fine, but we're not going to go to every country now. We're not going to go to America and say, I'm sorry, but this land belongs to the Native Americans, and basically ethnically cleanse America
Right.
of all the non-Native Americans. So why is it a justifiable reason to do it there?
Yeah.
You're not going to do it to Australia.
Why not bring back the Aboriginals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
For sure. So the Palestinians, who are the real inhabitants, they should have the land.
yeah, if you've been living there for hundreds and hundreds of years already, it's just not fair. Like that's
Right.
where you're
Right. How long have the Jews been there? The Zionists.
Jews that have been living in Palestine.
Always that Jewish, Muslim, and Christians have lived there together. All lived
Right.
together.
That's true.
So-
And
That's
social
true.
Zionists assume.
I mean, the Jewish temple was there at one point. I saw that. I don't know if that was the propaganda or not.
The thing is, they've lived peacefully for a long time
Right,
until the
sorry.
Zionists came in, and then they started trying to push them out.
Right.
I
Right.
think the issue. If you want to go and live there, fine, but limit your gas and who to go.
Wait, I have a question. Was Jesus Jewish? Or was he?
Born Jewish, wasn't he? But they were being him and his family were like Palestinian, as they say,
Okay.
being
So
persecuted.
Jesus was Palestinian?
Yes.
Yeah, and they were being persecuted. That's why everyone keeps saying like Palestinian children. That's basically like what Jesus was going through, but in ancient times.
Wait, say it again? Jesus was going through what Palestinian children are going through today?
Yeah.
So I don't know the full story.
Okay.
But there was some sort of issue going on in that land
Yeah.
that is very similar, like kind of a similar thing.
Yeah. And then who snitched on Jesus?
I don't know. But I don't.
Who was it? You know who it was?
I don't. I just care about Jews.
In it. The Zios. It was the Zios.
Should link up with the
Okay.
organisers.
What's it again?
Palestine Solidarity.
PSC, yeah.
The PSC? Okay,
Yeah.
you remember that.
Yeah.
So,
Are you guys family?
yes.
You have the same eyes, all of you.
Big sister.
Oh, there
Really?
you go.
I thought you were all sisters.
Yeah, follow them and just
Okay.
just have the courage to follow your convictions.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Magistus is really good, isn't it?
Ah, Pist
Magistus.
Magistus,
Okay.
that's one of my favorites.
Pissed off Magistus?
No,
Pissed Magistus. Okay.
He is
And?
He presents everything in
Oh, in a good way.
language.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
in
Like the
literature.
Gen Z
No,
language?
he's in like he just makes it understandable. So like
all the
political.
Thursday, bro.
geopolitics, all of that. He just explains it in a
Got
way
it.
that
And,
Right.
and if you guys had one message to the Zionists, right? What would that be?
We're all humans. We're all humans.
Yeah.
Treat each other. No one is more superior than how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Humans.
Amen.
Yeah.
So we usually do at Berkeley is we have like a little huddle prayer circle. You know, we throw our prayers up for the people in Gaza, for the children in Gaza. Do you guys mind huddling up real quick? Do a little prayer? Do a little prayer? You guys know Pinkies for Palestine? Throw your pinkies up. Throw your
Yeah,
pinkies
think
up.
it's for Palestine.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Guys, I just want to throw a prayer up for the children in Gaza. I want to make sure that they're okay, that we end the starvation, that we make sure, you know, the Jews stop invading, they stop invading the land. We put an end to the evil Jewish Zionist regime, and we stand together in solidarity with the Palestinian. We end the occupation stations that are currently happening all across the world.
Amen.
Can I get an amen to that?
Amen.
Now, can I get an amen to this?
Amen, guys.
For Palestine.
For Palestine.
For Palestine. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Have a great one. Thank you. Bye, ladies.